Hello there, you have News 5. Now, Singapore and China have agreed to work more closely on Beijing's ambitious Belt and Road project. The two sides also reviewed ASEAN-China ties. Our Beijing correspondent Jeremy Koh files this report.
Speaking at a joint news conference, Dr. Balakrishnan said that China and Singapore relations are in good working order, strong, and have the potential to grow even deeper and stronger. Now, Dr. Balakrishnan, who was in China at the invitation of his counterpart Wang Yi, also said they had a very extensive discussion on the Belt and Road Initiative, adding that Singapore has been a strong believer and supporter of the scheme. And he said that both countries agreed to collaborate on 3 platforms for the Belt and Road Initiative. These are to boost connectivity, financial cooperation and cooperation with third parties.
We believe these 3 platforms will help catalyze the expansion and the implementation of the Belt and Road Initiative. It will help mobilize capital because a lot of capital will be needed in order to implement the connectivity and the physical infrastructure needed for the Belt and Road. And at the same time, it's not just about money and hardware, but we also need to provide training, technology transfer, and this is an area where China and Singapore can work very closely together.
Now, Mr. Wang, on his part, said that the Belt and Road Initiative has created new prospects for further developing China-Singapore ties.
鉴于新加坡独特的地理位置，新加坡完全可以在共建“一带一路”的进程当中扮演一个非常重要的角色。那么，中新两国携起手来，共同建设和其他的伙伴一起共同建设“一带一路”。我想，它不仅会深化我们两国的全方位的合作伙伴关系的内涵，而且也会为新加坡的今后的发展开辟更大的空间。同时呢，也会为这个地区的和平与发展注入新的正能量。
The foreign ministers also reviewed the ASEAN-China relationship, and they agreed that the relationship is in a stable, calm and positive mode. Now, pointing to developments such as the completion of the negotiations for a framework for the Code of Conduct on the South China Sea, Dr. Balakrishnan said that these are important confidence-building measures, and this allows ASEAN and China to focus on the longer-term strategic development strategies between the two areas. Jeremy Koh, Channel News Asia, Beijing.
And Dr. Balakrishnan also spoke with reporters in Beijing a couple of hours ago, and he explained just how Singapore can help with the 3 platforms for the Belt and Road Initiative. Jeremy again with more.
Minister for Foreign Affairs Vivian Balakrishnan just spoke to us here in Beijing, and he elaborated on what these 3 platforms mean. Zeroing in on the financial part of it, he said that if you look at investment flows from China outwards into Belt and Road countries, 1/3 of it flows through Singapore anyway. And if you look at the reverse flow, which is investments from Belt and Road countries into China, Singapore accounts for 85%. So he said that the first key point of it is that Singapore is already a key player, a major player as far as financing for the Belt and Road is concerned. But what Singapore is looking at now is to look for complementaries between the larger scheme and to see how Singapore, as a separate financial center in its own right and with a reputation for reliability, trustworthiness, due diligence, can mobilize even more sources of capital for these projects. He said that both countries will still have to work through the specifics, but the key point here is to help mobilize more capital for these projects and to link up capital to these projects. So this is an area which Dr. Balakrishnan said that Singapore has a head start in, Singapore has a natural advantage in, and it can play a significant role. He also talked about the Code of Conduct for the framework for the Code of Conduct for the South China Sea. He said that both sides were very happy that the framework for this Code of Conduct, or COC, has been settled, and he said that these are very important confidence-building measures, and it shows that both sides will not allow any single issues or even difficult issues to derail the agenda for the long-term strategic opportunities, and that's a very, very important issue as well. As for the timeline, he said that the aim now is to get it endorsed in August and to move forward step by step after that, because he said that you can't resolve everything straight away, but you can build confidence, and with that confidence, a platform to move with long-term strategic projects.